Okay, I found a couple of interesting DesignJet 500 and 800 series maintenance videos out there, but none of them ever went into much detail about the cleaning of the service station. This is a service station out of a DesignJet 500. In order to get it out of the printer, you're going to have to roll this gear in the middle, the center gear, counterclockwise with your thumb, in order to get this cleaning and storage carriage back out of the way, to let the printhead slide out of the way so you can remove this. These are the two mounting screws that you would access through the top to take the service station out of the printer. Once you have that rolled back and those two screws removed, there's a you can slide this device out of the printer. But now what do you do with it? It's going to be full of old ink residue. I actually just finished cleaning this one, but after I learned what I learned while I was doing it, I decided to make up this video. So first thing you can do with the Torx is remove the drive motor. Okay, it just comes right off. You notice that the cables are oriented to the rear, so keep that in mind. Next thing you have to do is you have 3 Torx screws the same size that you must remove. One on either side towards the rear, and one right up front and center. Once you have those off, you have a couple of little spring-actuated plastic tabs. There's one in the front you have to pop out to lift up this carriage. And over here, behind this cleaning wheel, there are a set of 3. There's one in the front, and there's 2 little ones in the back. And you can lift the top section off of it. Once the top section's off, you can lift the carriage assembly up and out. Okay? So, there's a video out there that goes this far, and it's great, but now what do I do with it? Since the motor's off and all the electrics are off, the only remaining pieces here are all plastic. There's one screw in holding this device in, but you don't have to remove it. There are some other clips that hold this lower assembly to the upper assembly, but you also don't have to remove that if you don't want to. Because all of the electrics are off, the easiest way to clean this thing is just to fill a sink with hot water and dunk it all in, put everything in the hot water, and repeatedly rinse and flush. That will loosen up the ink residue, and you'll be able to flush it all away and flush it all clean. Obviously this one is cleaned. When I did this before, I was wearing rubber gloves because it can get a little messy on your fingers. And it was caked with old ink residue. This particular sponge piece here that goes down and underneath was black. This device here, and there was a plastic scraper back in here, that was all caked with globs of ink. After soaking it in the fresh water, the warm water, repeatedly rinsing, soaking, rinsing, soaking, I was able to pour all of that old ink residue out. Now, the part the other video misses is how to reassemble it. So once it's all clean and you've allowed it plenty of time to air dry, you set the carriage back in place, okay, and you slide it all the way back to the rear. And then you can take the top assembly and set it back down in place. Oops, I have it backwards. Let's try putting it on the right way. It only goes on one way. As you can see, the clips in the back here need to align, and the first 2 clips in the back right here seem to snap right up and in, but the front clip isn't. You actually have to push underneath from the front a little bit in order to push that clip up and allow it to fully engage in its notch. cooperating at all. Okay, up here in the front, there's the front clip. Let's go back and work on these rear clips. So those ones have to pop up into their notch. There we go. So 2 back clips, 1 front clip there, and then this front clip up in the corner are all latched in place. Now what you're looking for operation, you can now, with the motor disengaged, you can roll this thing freely. If you roll it to the rear, counterclockwise, like you did when you deinstalled it from the printer, you'll see it goes all the way back, and these rubber pieces here engage these other little buffer pads here. When you roll it to the front, there's a little plastic tooth over here that engages a tooth on the wheel and indexes this wheel forward just 1 notch. When it continues forward, these little tabs right up on ramps, okay, that little thing with the rubber brushes on it rolls forward, and this piece here sets squared up here, and that's what the print heads rest on and stay sealed so the ink doesn't dry out. So when you're checking to make sure that it is operated properly like that, you can roll it all the way back to the rear where you started. Then you can reinstall the 3 screws. Of course, this is set on the lowest torque setting, so I don't strip the screws out. It doesn't require much pressure. They're just into plastic, and they just have to be snug and held in place. They don't have to be overly tight. Okay, once that's done, you can take the motor assembly. You can refit it back into its position. Like that, and the wires go behind this little tab. You have its mounting screws. One and two. All right. The wiring goes behind this little plastic tab and will go on up and back up to the control interface board there. And then again, you want to roll this with your thumb and make sure the carriage is all the way to the rear where you deinstalled the unit. And this service station is now clean and ready to go back into the printer. So, thank you for watching.